Hi everyone, welcome to my video. I hope you all have an amazing day. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Alfina Milatul Khoiroh and I am a freshman in Alfina University majoring in English Literature Faculty of Humanities. In this video, I'd like to tell you about my opinion or my review about a book that I have just read. But before that, I'd like to give you a little disclaimer. Everything that I've said in this video is solely my personal opinion, and I understand everyone has different perceptions, and that's totally fine. I hope you guys can understand my intention. This video is part of my Factual and Discursive reading class assignment for the midterm season. So without further ado, let's go jump to the video. Alright guys, as you can tell by the screen right now, the book that I will be talking about is called You Are a Badass by Khoiroh. I know a lot of you guys have probably heard about this book because this book was published in 2013 and becoming one of the New York Times bestselling book of all time. I don't know why I haven't really gotten to know this book until recently, but I am grateful that I'm able to read this book because honestly, this book has changed so much about me. But before that, let me break down to you some of the contents that will be explained in the book in order to help you to get a better understand what is the book is all about and the contents inside of the book. First, let me break down to you the contents that will be explained in the book. So this book consists of 5 parts, and each part's divided from 4 to 7 chapters. And each chapters will most likely talk about something different. All right, first let's start with part 1. In part 1, how you got this way. The big underline that will be explained and developed within part 1 is about subconscious, which is actually contributed the most to the fact that sometimes we make judgment and we make perceptions because these subconscious can lead us to do something that we don't necessarily understand or we don't realize we're doing this. And then in part 2, how to embrace your inner badass. So in part 2, we'll most likely talk about self-love because in part 2, Khoiroh will teach you how to love yourself to the fullest, including all of your flaws to your greatness, because in part 2 we can help you to discover the truest versions of yourself and make you realize that you are the best versions of yourself. In part 3, how to tap into the mother lode. So in part 3, most likely talk about gratitude, forgiveness, and fear, and then self-love again. We can make you to have faith in yourself and make you trust yourself or believe yourself that you can do more, you can do your best without even feeling like you're not good enough, that you have a weakness, you can't do this, you can't do that. In part 3, you will learn that you can do whatever you want as long as you work hard. And then part 4, moving on to part 4, how to get over your BS already. The main topic that will be discussed in part 4 is about procrastination. And then in part 5, this is my favorite part actually because it talks about something that are very important in our life, which is money and its management. So in part 5, we will learn how to manifest our judgments, our perceptions, and our mindset into the money that we're making, into the money that we are trying to create. And how are we using this money wisely in order to get a better life? Okay, guys, so that is basically the contents that will be explained and developed within the book. So now I'm going to show you some of my favorite lines that I found within the book. First, this is from page 23. The line is, this whole improving your life thing is going to be a lot easier if you have an open mind about it. This is so true because if you have an open mind, if you can actually accept the new environment, you can accept the changes that happens in your life. It can help you to adjust yourself to the moment at the time and being present in the time. Next, this is from page 59. First, living a life on purpose is available to everyone. Everyone's journey is unique. Page is talking about how can we accept our differences, that everybody's life is different. You cannot be someone else and someone else can't be you. So you have to accept that you are different and you are the best versions of yourself. This is from page 93. When you show up disappointed or angry or guilty or oblivious, instead of being grateful, you're at a lower frequency and thereby less connected in source energy and in a less powerful state to manifest good feelings. The next is every actions has an equal and opposites reactions. You cannot exercise much power without gratitude, for it is gratitude that keeps you connected with power. You are practically powerless without gratitude. Grateful brings back to the most powerful thing, self-love. So the main discussions in this page is about gratitude and self-love. If you are grateful with what you have in your life, then it can actually grow the self-love that you have for yourself. Next, all right, so this is most of the time, it's not lack of experience that's holding us back, but rather the lack of determination to do. We put so much energy into coming up with excuses why we can't do, or have things we want, designing the perfect distractions to keep us from our dreams. This is procrastinations. If we procrastinate, means that we actually distance ourselves away from the goals that we're supposed to reach. Procrastinating is not a good habit. So in this chapter, the continuations of this chapter will talk about how we handle the procrastinations mind that we have, and how can we change those mindset into the better. Next, okay, this is my favorite part, because in chapter 24 it talk about money as our best friend, and here is some of my favorite line inside of the chapter. First, in order to go get some money, get very clear on what kind of life will make you happy, and be honest what kind of experiences and possessions will support you in the work you want to do and in the kind of life you'd love to live. Determines what your personal truest version success looks like. Please no comparing yourself to others. Figure out how much it will cost, and then set out with steadfast determinations to manifest the money you need to create it. As I said before, that these chapters talk about the money and its management, including the perceptions of money that we should have, because our perceptions about the money that we own actually matters and can change the whole entire mindset. Why do we have to make money? How can we reach the goals that we want with the money that we own? That is very important. And I will tell you my general opinion after reading this book. So far, reading this book has been a pleasure for me. I feel like when I first read the book, I thought the book would talk about something deep and hard, because of course the genre of the book is self-help book. But I was too stereotyping the book, and in fact the book did not talk about me or any of that. It doesn't talk about like mental health at all. It talks about tips, tricks, and ways for us to improve our lives, to try and get better. I feel like after reading the book, it has changed so much about me, my mindset, my beliefs. You know, I used to think that I am not capable of doing something, but now after reading this book, I realized that I can do whatever I want as long as I work hard for it, and I dream about it. And then I even thought that this book is my best friend, because honestly this book understands me so much. Like as freshmen right now, there's so many things going on in my life all at the same times, and sometimes I feel like I'm lost and confused, because I just don't know how to handle such thing. Now let's move on to a little flaws that I think this book has. I think overall, because I am extremely biased, I love the whole idea about the book, so I don't feel like this book has any flaws. But I think something that I can point it out here is that sometimes the writer can use inappropriate words. Maybe for us minors or teenagers or underage, that wouldn't be very suitable, but I think overall that would be fine, because of course the writer's background, she is American, and that kind of word, it's probably common in American, and all it's basically just a little flaws for my personal opinion. I will rate this book 5 out of 5 stars, because honestly I love this book very much. This book has changed so much about me, the way I think about myself, the way I think about my environment, and how I believe myself could do something. And that is totally like the whole intentions and the whole purpose of me reading this book, is to get a better mindset and is to improve my life. And it's actually works. That is a little glimpse of the book You Are a Badass. I would recommend you guys to read this book because honestly, reading this book has genuinely become a pleasure for me, and it helps me so much to change my mindset and finally finding the true versions of myself. Like this book honestly made me question myself. Like, why do I have such weakness? Why do I feel like I'm not good enough? Why can't I be someone? Why can't I be everything that I want? Because honestly, I can do whatever I want as long as I work hard. And this book made me understand and realize that. So the problem is, it's a matter of trying to find help. And for those of you who are trying to find help, trying to find yourself and help yourself to be better versions, I would recommend you guys to read this book because this is such an amazing book. Great. And finally, we can live the life that we wanted, that we desire, because we only live once. You can't just waste your time. Alright guys, I think that's all from me in this book reports. I hope you guys like my video and I hope you get my intentions. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.